Disclaimer, we'd like to note before the start of this interview that the opinions about to be expressed by the guest on tonight's Gettin Salty Experience podcast are that of the guest and do not directly or necessarily reflect the views of the host of the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
Put the fucking fire out!
You're listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
Hello, Hank Boley, sitting in for Louis, who was missing somewhere in parts unknown.
Pulling him into the side.
My pleasure to be here, and hello to all my friends out there in the Leatherhead Nation.
Thanks for filling in last second. I gave him the emergency call. I gave him the 911. I'm like, Hank, we need you. Called him right from the bullpen. He came in firing.
That's it.
Yeah, firing the heat.
Curveball's working and the sink is working. So
is it? You look great. He's a grandpappy. Did you know that? Gonzo, he just became a grandpappy.
No. Well, look at you. Congrats, man.
He's telling me smiling from ear to ear.
Very happy, yeah. I have a beautiful baby granddaughter.
What's her name?
Aria Elizabeth.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Louis bagged a deer tonight, and last minute he said he had to go find it, right?
Yes, he said he was getting the quad to go find it. He had to get the flashlight out.
Unlike priorities. Don't worry about it.
You know.
Thanks,
came at the worst time. He's like, right before the show.
I don't know why he's calling you. He didn't even call me. Gonzo's like, hey,
he figured you were going to yell at him. Probably.
Yeah, because he knows Gonzo's not going to go after him like you would.
Yeah.
Wait, he was going to wait. What the hell is it? Oh, there.
Come on,
You dick!
He was going to get tonight, bro. Absolutely. But we called Hank, and Hank is 1084. He's here doing it.
Hank, are you down in Florida now? Today, or are you up in New York? Oh, you're in. Okay, I know you're like
full time here, bro. I mean, I was just in New York visiting my granddaughter, but no, I'm here full time.
Well, you never know. He could be on a cruise. He's like you. He could be on a cruise in Italy. He could be on a cruise here. He could be on a cruise there.
Amalfi Coast, chilling out.
Yeah, I go on cruises like to try, like to catch up with all the history you learned in school. Like recently, the Colosseum, the Vatican, Pompeii. He goes on these discotheque tours 3 days out of Fort Lauderdale.
Oh yeah, I know.
Back and forth.
Don't hate. You'd be doing it if you could too.
Pineapples turned upside down.
Pineapple upside down. Pineapples.
That's the kind of cruise he's on, bro.
Yeah, he's got the loofahs on his side of town. You got certain loofahs.
And he keeps telling me, you got cruise. We got to go on a cruise all together. I'm like, what are you getting up to? What are you getting up to?
Man, you have no idea. Well, yeah, no.
Can't wait.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we got a good guy tonight. He's been in many good companies. I mean,
many for sure.
233, the original Tin House on Hull, right?
The original Tin House was
233.
233, but
126, 120, Squad 270, 103. Now Ruffy can't be here to talk about 103 stuff now. So,
man, I'm still trying to figure out where that company is.
103.
Yeah, I keep thinking, I'm like, where is this company?
Where is that? Tottenville?
Yeah.
Staten Island? No?
Oh, man.
Anyway, he's got
back in the day, I believe they used to say Livonia and Shitfield, but I think even that block has been fixed up now. So,
Yeah, he's got a lot of good stories. He even put a little. Got a whole thing here with little stories. We got good stories.
Yeah, he's excited. He wants to tell them too. I
want to hear them.
He said the audience will love. They're gonna love to hear it. So.
Yep. All right. Well, first we got to play some commercials because we got to earn a few bucks so we can support Louis' hunting habit in golf. So.
All right. Well, let's we'll bring in Mr. Vince and see where we want to go from there.
All right.
Here we go.
Firehouse floors take a beating. Rigs rolling in, gear drop down, chemicals and spills every single day. That's why departments nationwide are choosing ArmorTough. ArmorTough epoxy floors are built for fire stations. Slip resistant, chemical resistant, easy to clean, and tough enough to handle anything the job throws at them. It's more than just a floor. It's a safer, sharper, and more professional foundation for your house. And here's the bonus. ArmorTough is an authorized dealer for Groves. So if gear racks, PPE extractors, or dryers are what you're after, you'll find them here. Heavy discounts apply for Gettin Salty listeners. So install an ArmorTough floor and get Groves products at dealer cost. ArmorTough, built for firefighters, built to last.
Procaccini's liking the beard, all gray. What do you think, Hank? Better? Flush.
I'm going to hold my thoughts for now. I'm not used to it yet, so.
All right.
We
did a show with Hashhagen 2 days ago. He's got the whole, he looks like the Gorton's fisherman over there. That whole thing going on there. It was a great show, man. You ever hear of a guy named Green? He was a captain of Rescue 1 back in the day. Like 1930s, he went to Rescue 2 with 1 year on the job. No. Then he transferred to Rescue 1. Then he was Lieutenant Rescue 1. Then he went up to Rescue 3, came back to Rescue 1. Then he was the captain of Rescue 1.
Hash would know anybody.
Oh, my God. But the stories of these guys, you've never heard of some of these guys. And they're like amazing stories. Like he had these jobs in the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. All these old jobs, man.
The locomotive when they were doing the tunneling for the Midtown Tunnel.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of really.
Well, where can they hear those stories? Well, if
you sign up for the membership, you can hear these. Maybe you have a commercial that tells about the membership.
The guys are wondering. Here you go.
Looking to take your love for the fire service to the next level? Then join the Gettin' Salty Experience YouTube Premium Membership Club, where the stories burn hotter and the history runs deeper. As a member, you'll unlock exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, from History with Hashhagen, where we dive into legendary FDNY fires and the men who fought them, to feature-length documentaries spotlighting the rich and gritty history of the FDNY, told the way only Gettin' Salty can. You'll also get early access to special interviews, behind-the-scenes content, and members-only perks designed with our most loyal followers in mind. Joining is easy. Just hit that join button right in our YouTube channel and become part of the Brotherhood. Support the show, celebrate the job, get and stay salty.
Yeah, at $4.99 a month, you can't go wrong for all these shows. It's gold. You know what I mean? Fat Daddy Ray's in with the new handle. He writes this: "Coobs, you look like an old Hasidic."
Yeah,
Fat Daddy, love it.
Everybody's got these numbers and shit.
Fat Daddy.
Fat Daddy's in there. I don't know what.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Me neither. I thought his fingers were still in the cast. He forgot how to dial the phone.
No, he's out there fishing. There's bullshit. Don't let him bullshit. I think I see him on Instagram. Always at the beach. Right. No, he's at the beach.
Really?
Yeah, he's doing some kind of fishing.
I might be doing something wrong. Louis hunting. He's fishing. I'm still working. What's going on here, bro?
I'm still working and cruising. But
wait a minute. Right. You're calling this work? What you're doing right now?
I'm talking about all the other jobs I got too, bro. I'm juggling.
You're still young enough, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know about
a new knee now, so he's going to get the mileage on that knee.
I do have a new knee, yes. All right, listen, we can't keep Donnie Schneider, Captain Donnie Schneider, waiting in the yes. So I'll bring him in. I'll do Lou. What's his name again? I don't remember his name, but I'll do his.
Yeah, he says, "See it, the big one kind of guy." I don't know what that means,
Yeah, I don't know what that means. He had the big what? The big deer? See, had the big hunt.
He did say it was a big one. He did say it was a big one. I got to get him.
Oh, now I'm gonna make me feel bad that he can't pass it up for the show, right? Now you can make me feel bad.
Yeah, he's going to be laying it on thick.
All right, man. Coming to the stage, the one, the only, Captain Donnie Schneider. Coming on in.
Panty dropper. They won't stop.
Wow. The girls love you, Cap. Before we welcome to the show, but before we dive in, we got a greatest country in the whole wide world. Play it.
Hell yeah. All right, here we go. Stand by.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Usually we save these for last, but this man was a great man. He inspired me. We lost another great one from 9/11 cancer. First time I ever met him, I was a Probie in 210. I believe he was from 210, but he was in Squad 1, and he came to drill with 210. And I thought he was the coolest dude on the face of the earth back then. He had the mustache, Squad 1. I said, I'm going to go to Squad one day. When he came in, they told me, shut the fuck up and get back in the sink. You'll never be the Squad. So we lost a great one. Rest in peace, brother. Line of duty. I'm going to give him the 5 bells. Bobby West.
God bless, brother.
You guys work with him, right? You work with him, Donnie?
A little bit. I dealt more with them out at the school when I first got one of many times I got sent out there for
You
fire
must
here.
have known him, Hank, right? From
Yeah.
Brooklyn?
Yeah, well, when 132, we would run in with Squad 1 all the time. So that's when I first met him. And then, when I went to rescue, he was still in the squad. So, yeah, I knew him many, many years. He was a gentleman, good firefighter. I think he got married late in life and became a dad pretty late in life.
Yeah. He has a 14-year-old son, and it's such a shame. He was a great guy, right? He looked cool too. He had the flat top hair, he had the big mustache, right? He worked for Morning Pride, and when my wife worked for Honeywell bought Morning Pride, and I used to see him all the time working with my wife, and I was like, oh, that's when I first saw him again. I was like, that's the guy story 10, and that was it. Ever since then, I would see him on the show. I tried to get him on the show in the worst way. He didn't want to talk about his career or whatever, and it was such a shame because I'm sure he had a ton of stories to tell, man.
Sure. Yeah. He saw a lot of fire in his career, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
It's like the Cap. He didn't see any fire. No.
I'm looking at this resume here, Cap.
I mean,
this is what you gotta give me. This shoddy. No. Great. So let's get into the early days of Captain Schneider. Captain, I know you said, was your dad on the job?
My father and grandfather both started in.
And your grandfather.
And my grandfather.
Wow, what year did your grandfather get on?
I guess it was 1930, maybe a little earlier.
Wow, where was he?
What?
Where did he work?
233.
Come on!
38 years in 233.
Aha!
The horse-drawn engines, right? Is there something like that?
He actually knew a guy that worked with the horses. And back with, I don't know if you knew the firehouse, in the back of the firehouse was the kitchen. That was the stable. And the horses used to know how to pull the chain or the rope to lift the gate. And in the afternoon, the horses would open the gate and off they'd go. So towards the end of the 2 or 4 o'clock, they'd grab a guy and send him out to the apple orchards because they would hand out towards the end of the interborough where the apple orchards were. So my grandfather tells me this whole story, and I think that's pretty cool. The guy goes out, gets the horses from the apple orchards, and then comes home. I tell the story to my father, and he goes, "What the fuck? What the fuck? There were orchards there, but Schaefer Brewery was also at the end of the interborough. So they weren't going out getting the horses; they were going out and getting a thing of beer. And then bring the horses back.
Then they'd be shit-faced and they bring the horses back, right?
Yeah, well, you could sit in the kitchen, I guess.
And where did your dad work then? 38 years at 233. Wow.
My dad started in 233 also.
Wait a minute. I'm seeing a common theme here, Hank.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible legacy thing going on.
I don't know what's going on here. So your dad was in 233. Did he stay there like your grandfather for 38 years?
No. He when he got promoted, he ended up in 231.
Uh-huh.
And then for a little while, he went to Manhattan. He went to One Engine. And being, you know me, my dad's a lot similar to me in certain ways, or I'm similar to him. He didn't quite fit in well in the first division. And he came back to Brownsville. He reached New York and went to 107 and retired out of New Jersey Avenue, where the firehouse isn't anymore.
They were on New Jersey Avenue?
107 was on New Jersey Avenue.
Right.
They they gave him the new firehouse. They moved over to the firehouse, and 175 went into New Jersey Avenue's firehouse.
I was going to ask. I thought 175 was in New Jersey Avenue.
Yeah, they opened when they moved 107.
That building is still there. That's at the end of the Interborough there.
Yep. It's an auto repair shop now.
No, now it's vacant.
Now
it's vacant. Yeah. I was just past it the other day. That's what I said. New Jersey Avenue. I thought 175 was in there.
Well, if you look across the street where that parking lot is, those were all tenements when my father was there.
Really?
That was all tenements, that whole area.
That was a single truck there, right?
I would think frames because there were a lot of frames in East New York.
Yeah, so 175 was a single truck there, and 107 was a single truck before 175?
Yes.
Huh. Where was 175 before they went to New Jersey? Or there was no 175.
There was no 175. They
There
were part of the expansion to second sections. Every 231 had a second section. 103 had a second section.
Right.
176 was actually a second section of 233 originally. They were a second engine.
Ask him about 1,000 cats. Well, what does that mean?
I don't know, but somebody
1,000
Chris
cats?
Beats. Chris
You
Beats.
do?
They probably think that I'm too happy right now. We'll get to that later.
All right. Okay. So what year did your dad retire?
I guess early 70s.
Early 70s. So what do you get on the 50s?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe 51. He did his 20 years, and my mom wanted him out.
You had no brothers?
My brother, he didn't want to be a fireman. I didn't want to be a fireman.
All right, so we're gonna get to that. So where did you grow up? What area did you grow up in?
We lived right on the city Queens Nassau border when I was real young, and then we moved out to Stony Brook.
All right. So what are you doing at the time? How do you get on the job? I'm sure your father says, "Hey, do you want to be a fireman?" Or how'd that play out?
I told him he was fucking nuts. He worked his life away. I thought, you are out of your mind. I'll never be like you. He worked all the time. He went from work to sleep, to work to sleep. He drove a pickup truck on the delivery truck on the side. And I thought he worked his balls off. So I got a job. I ran a warehouse for a company and made wallpaper. And I was a scumbag. I was the scumbag boss that you have. And I had a lady that I thought she was being really nice to me. She brought me an application to the fire department with an envelope and said, just mail it in. So I did. And I
So it wasn't even your father. This lady brought it to you.
Yeah. Her name was Capt Scatler. And I always thought she was being really sweet to me until somebody pointed out she was just trying to get rid of me.
Absolutely. She wanted you out.
I was like,
she was a nice old lady, and I was a shithead.
go with
She wanted you out of there.
with
And
the
it worked.
split you.
It worked.
It worked.
What ended up happening is I got transferred from where I worked and to like their main plant. And again, this is a jerk. I didn't fit quite in. And,
I'm picking up a theme. I'm picking up a theme there too, Cap. Yeah.
And the vice president of the company asked me to do something, and I told him I thought it was unethical. And I went from my nice office with pictures of my wife and kids to driving a forklift.
Wah, wah, wah.
So about 6 months later, I was called for the fire department, and that was pretty cool.
Did you tell your father that you put the application? Or you didn't even tell
Oh
him?
yeah.
Oh, you did tell him.
He knew. You know, he told me it was about time. You know, he had other words he uses.
You know what, Donnie? I tell the story. I probably told the story already. I used to watch my old man, like you said. He would come home from the firehouse. He had a plumbing job, and then he owned a camera store, 2 camera stores too. And I'm like, what kind of life is this? This guy never stops working. And then all of a sudden, you wake up one day and you're like, holy shit, that's me. I have 2 jobs on the side. I'm a fireman. I'm like, you just become that guy, right?
Crazy.
As I said, he drove a pickup truck, a delivery truck. I ended up being a fireman and driving a delivery truck for a carpet company. So you could pull the carbon paper out. I told him I was never going to be like him. And you pull that carbon paper out, look just like each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you get called in 85. You go to Probie School in August.
I got sworn in by myself.
How does that happen?
Holy shit. By yourself?
All along. I was at work. My wife calls me in the dither. This is before cell phones. And she tells me the fire department just called and wants to know if you would want to come in tomorrow to be sworn in. They have somebody they think is going to turn the job down. And if he turns it down, we'll swear you in. So she said, call him back, call this number at 3:00. So I call, the guy's going to show up. And they said, just call again tomorrow morning and make sure he's here. So the next morning I called personnel. Did the guy show up? They said, he's here. He's going to take the job. So, all right. I go back to work. I go the next day to work. My wife calls me, says, they want to hear from you now. They want to know if you want to come in tomorrow. And what ended up, they got sworn in that day. The guy turned the job down. And then they called me. So the next day, my wife, my cowboy boots and whatever I had, because I didn't have a lot of real clothes, nice clothes, like a jacket and shit. And I walked in. The guy goes, come with me. There used to be this guy, Parl, down at the Rock, a little handlebar mustache. He was one nasty fuck.
Lieutenant Parl.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, I know him.
And so, yeah, it wasn't like nowadays where they yell at everybody. He was the only guy that yelled at us.
Yeah. He was when I was in Probie School in '79. He was there at the Rock. So,
He's a memorable guy.
He might have he made a career of living at the Rock there, I guess. So the end of his career.
So you got sworn in, and
so he walked up to the library, and it's just me, my daughter, son, and wife. The commissioner goes into the library. They take out a Bible. I have my daughter in my arm. She's holding the Bible. I put my hand on the Bible, and
that's probably even better than getting sworn in with a whole bunch of knuckleheads.
I thought it was great. I had my wife. I thought it was really cool. And,
that's awesome. How old were you at the time? You had two kids
30.
already.
I was 30.
Wow, you got it on late, huh?
Yeah, I had a career in that other company. I thought I was going to be there for the rest of my life.
No, instead it was sounding like this.
Let's get ready to rumble!
That's how it was at that company, right? Sorry.
Oh yeah, it was.
I think they actually called the Rock and said, "Hey, you don't want to swear this guy in with everybody else. He's an asshole."
So what was with the guy that he they didn't think he was going to take the job. He shows up, he gets sworn in, and then he quits. What, he just wanted to tell everybody he was a city fireman because he could do that because he got sworn
in? I have no idea, but I thought it was the coolest.
What was the purpose of that?
Yeah, I don't know. You better call him and thank him. Say, "Hey, thanks, buddy."
Yeah, really.
Appreciate it.
Wow.
High-five that guy.
Well, it worked out for you because you got in that class. That was good.
Yeah, it was great. I was real lucky. I told the boss. He goes, "You giving me 2 weeks?" I go, "Nope, I'm giving you an hour." And I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
That's cool. So who are you in Probie School with? Anybody we might know?
Steve Spall stood next to me.
Steve Spall? The
engineer. On one side. And, well, you're not a Brooklyn guy, but Danny Mundy was on my other side. He was a chief in the 5.8. Chief Daly, he was in my class. We had a lot of guys that lasted. I had a lot of Bronx guys.
Yeah.
But I hate to say it, but I can't remember anybody's name.
Yeah. Well, here's the big question, right, Hank? Everybody wants to know. How did you get to 233? I mean,
well, I really, other than that, I never had a hook. And guys don't believe that I went throughout my career.
Come on. I'm looking at this right here. You didn't have a hook to go from 233 to 126 to 120 to 270 to 103. You had no hook.
Not in the beginning.
Wait. There's a little asterisk, a little footnote.
But you earn your respect. You know, Hank, right? You go through your career and you earn your respect.
Right.
But I think the job is also aware of, they see a name and they like Hashhagen, his badge number 1312, I believe, was his grandfather's. They see Schneider, or they're looking.
I was just going to say the last name.
We had Schneider. They might have seen your father was there, your grandfather was there. So just to keep it in the family or legacy, they might have made sure you were assigned there.
Yeah.
You mean your old man didn't call to get you over to 233?
He called to get me to 231.
And you wound up at 233.
231 did more work, and he wanted me to go to 231. And because it's on one of the pictures, this guy Billy Gallagher bumped me out because he was a basketball player, and that's Billy on the right. He's also the first person I knew on the fire department. But he was a basketball player. He would bump me out of the spot in 231, so I went to 233.
Well, he wound up at, what is it, 120? What is that on his?
That's 120. We were both in 120. He ended up
Wow.
coming across the floor.
Life of like a circle.
I
Mm.
I wasn't having a good time in 126. They were mostly.
Wait a minute, we're going too far past that.
I'll go back. Okay,
You got to go back to
We're in
233
Probie
before that.
School. 233.
All right, you go to 233. Who's the captain when you get there?
Freddie Fink.
Fink, not rotten Fink.
I guess he was a probie of my father also.
Ah.
I don't know if he liked me or didn't like me, but he was all right. 233 was. I knew right away I didn't want to stay in an engine. Right.
Okay.
I couldn't understand why I pull up and stand outside and the truck went inside. I knew that the first run I had.
So you weren't cool with that. So how long were you there before you caught your first job?
Oh God, I don't know.
How you like that
In
question?
a while.
You got him. Yeah.
It was Schaefer and Broadway. In fact, about 6 months before I retired, I had a fire in the same building.
Get out of
The
here.
same fucking building. It was great.
That's crazy.
Except the first time I was in 233, the next time I was in 252. But it was kind of funny because I knew the building laid out the same way. It was a commercial building.
You're like, oh, I know this address. Hold on a minute. Now, with 233, they were by themselves at that time?
Yeah, they were single engine. They it was like gym class going to work. They were very a lot of pranksters.
Yeah.
What? There's no practice in a firehouse.
Oh, they had some of the best. They had this guy, Rocco Iannucci. He
Good Irish guy.
he was the funniest guy I've ever met. We had an Italian kid, and he had a hairdryer. And you didn't have a hairdryer in a firehouse. I was like, where's a guy's a hairdryer?
He does.
Italian.
He took the guy's hairdryer. He was Italian. He took this kid's hairdryer apart and put a clove of garlic in front of the heat element. So that when he'd leave work, he'd shower, get cleaned up, and look dry his hair. He'd smell like garlic.
He was a guinea anyway, so he probably smelled like garlic anyway, you know? Right, Ike?
Yeah, he had the necklace around the neck. Keep the
whole
fires away with the garlic.
He had the horn, and and he had the pepper on the mirror, right, guys?
You got the little pepper. I got my little pepper right here, bro.
He's got the pepper hanging on the mirror. What with the pepper?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that. Put a clove of garlic on the guy's hairdryer. Did he smell it? What the fuck?
Yeah, and it stayed there for a while. It wasn't like it was a one day. How many times he come to work and go, "They smell like garlic again." This guy I'm talking about that used a hairdryer had a locker next to the window. The other thing Rocco did was he attached canned farts. It's the worst. I don't know where he got it. He attached it to a pole and attached a second pole with a little button on it so that he could stick it out the back of the firehouse and spray the guy while he got changed with this horrible smelling shit. It's the coolest thing. The whole firehouse smelled it. We had to go outside. It was so bad.
Can't fart. So they moved to Rockaway Avenue. That's the tin house, right? Rockaway Avenue.
The tin house was the temporary firehouse on Rockaway, down further on Rockaway Avenue.
So when you moved to Rockaway Avenue, did the truck move in with you, or
not initially? We had about a month, maybe a month and a half. We were alone.
And then 176 came.
Yep, they came up.
Right.
And they left the truck engine open for a while, and then they closed it. You know, there were rumors they were going to go to. There's supposed to be another firehouse down by Starrett City. There's supposed to be a firehouse in there, and the rumor was they were going to Starrett City. And basically, I think what ended up was Fusco was the chief of department at the number, and he was a 233 guy. And I think that's weighed in very well for us.
So they stayed open.
Yeah, and they shut the, when we were on Hull Street, we had 16 first due boxes, and you're not familiar with the area. That's why I wanted Louis. We didn't go across Atlantic Avenue, which was 4 blocks away. We didn't go past Ralph Avenue, which is 3 blocks away. And, we had 252 behind us. We had 232 on the one side, 2 triple deuce on the other side, and we went nowhere. We were second due to everybody, or third due.
Yeah,
Wow.
Triple deuces on Ralph, right? Aren't they on Ralph and Knickerbocker or somewhere over there?
We wouldn't even go over to Ralph.
Wow, that's a small
Ralph and
that is a small first due area.
But you know what?
They carry in the bus garages.
I mean, if you go back to the war years, 233 did see a bunch of fire.
Oh yeah.
They
were right in the heart of it.
Yeah.
Everybody around them was going to work.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great spot. I'm a little. We gave out our ride list by the group chart, so it was a random spot. You rotated. I don't think I had a nozzle fire for 4 years, maybe 1. But I had the best hookup jobs you've ever seen.
You were a hell of a hookup man back then.
Spinning that thing onto the hot and go, motherfucker, I hate this.
Best hookup man in town.
And the hookup like a complicated thing. It isn't like you're carrying the light hose. You're carrying that big hose, and you're like, the fire's out when you get back, and you're tired.
Yeah, that sucks. So you knew you wanted to go to the truck. Why did you want to? There you go.
Yeah, that's the day I got transferred to 126. It's my son.
That's you?
That's me, not the little kid.
No, I know not.
The guy with the baseball hat.
He's really got the job young.
Shit. You look like you're a kid.
I was born old.
He's born old. Yeah. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I used to have long hair and all sorts of stuff.
Look at that, Gons. Good pickup. So why do you pick 126? What about you were gonna leave Brooklyn and go to 126? I mean, they were doing some work.
I wanted to go across the floor.
Right.
I wanted to go to 132. I had a paper in for 132 for over and over. After I got off of probation, I started putting papers in for trucks, and I would look at orders. And Bobby Gallione, who was in the truck at the time,
Heart and
said,
balls.
why don't you try maybe 127 or 126? And 126 was more my style. And I put in 176, 132, 123, and you just hope you hit it on one of them.
Right.
And when Vigiano came along, he and my father, though there's a good story about it, but
hold on a minute.
They didn't get along. So if you look at what I wrote,
it says my father and the Vid retirement fight.
No, that was he didn't fight with Vidge. It was when he retired, he had a fight.
Who, your father?
Yeah,
tell a story then.
Okay, I got my father retired. His hand swelled up like a balloon, fucking red, swelled up. And we were kids. He told us he heard it at a job. They took the skylight. He had it out on the railing, and he got glass in it, and it got infected. It got so bad they were talking about amputating.
Wow.
So it all cleared up. The doctors made it better. He retires. I'm at my first old timers party, and Chief Stack comes over to me, and he says, "Oh, you're Howie's kid." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Wow, what a great guy! What a great guy! You should have been at his retirement party. What a great fucking fight!" back across from 107, they had like one of those little nightclubs underground, that illegal ones.
Uh-huh.
You go down and you have a couple beers, and he said, Puerto Rican was breaking his balls, and he punched him, and he laid him. My father was a boxer, and he laid the guy out, and hit him in the tooth, and his hand got infected. He didn't get infected from glass. Backlight, he got infected from
a tooth.
The guy in the mouth.
Like, oh, aha!
Oh.
Hit him right in the tooth.
Yeah, so he was yeah, he was a good guy. My dad was a real.
Said he
good
lived to 99, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's incredible, man.
He was in the Navy. He was his ship was hit by 2 kamikaze planes.
Wow.
And he was in a room with 20 guys, and he was the only one to live.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a life and a half that guy's got, man.
Wow.
He loved being a fireman. He shouldn't have retired.
I mean, didn't you see that when he wouldn't share? Did he tell you about the job when you were a kid, or?
No. He didn't talk about the fire. He went to the firehouse, and I brought my kid to work. And, I was a kid. You didn't go past the house watch. When back then, no one came into the firehouse.
Right.
Yeah. That's my kids at a Christmas party.
You mentioned your kids. I want to make sure I pull it up. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. We only went for Christmas parties and stuff. Like, I never went to the firehouse. The only time I went to the firehouse, and my father, at the end of his career, he worked in 291, which is right close to our house.
Right.
So my mother tells me to go give this to your father. He forgot it at home. So I walk up there. Now, mind you, my father I've never heard a curse come out of his mouth my entire life. I walk into the firehouse, and he's in the kitchen, but he's facing the kitchen with his back to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, fucking motherfucker, fucking fuck. Shit. So the guys are like, he turns around, he's like, oh shit, But what a difference for being in the firehouse. You never heard the man curse in his life, and he's in there throwing the F-bomb around.
Yeah, I walked in the firehouse. I didn't have a clue. I was like, wow. But it was great. I was just real lucky.
So you get to 126. How long did it take you to get there? I mean, how long were you putting your paper in for a while? A while or?
2 years.
2 years. And 126 comes up. And do you know anything about Queens, or Bobby told you to put your paper in for 126?
Told me 126. They had a good softball team. I was a ball player.
All right.
I said, this will be a good fit. I'll make it. And they were doing work. But
right.
They were doing 6,000 runs, or more than 6,000. And I was doing less fires than I was because I had a UFO detail in 176 at one point. That I was doing less work there than I was in Brooklyn. So I wanted to go back. And they were all the same fire, which was kind of a pain in the ass.
A lot of private dwellings there, right?
It's a 20 by 40, 2.5 story with a setback in the rear front porch. And it was great. I could get on in them front windows. Back then, you had the portables on the side of the rig. And our ladder to the roof, our roof man went to the front porch. You could pull your ladder off, and I could get up on the porch and in that front bedroom quicker than they could get in the door. And I always thought that was pretty cool.
But you were doing more runs for the fires than you were over in 176.
Yeah, I was getting crushed, but it was okay. And they were a lot of gamblers, and I didn't quite fit in because I'm a little. I don't gamble.
Me neither.
I'm a little bit too straight for certain things.
How long did you stay there? You were there for
everything took about 4 years.
See, 4 years. When did you start putting your paper in? When did you know you wanted to go back to Brooklyn?
Right away.
Right away?
Right away. I knew it right away.
Who is this? These are 126 guys. Who is in this picture here?
Yeah.
Do you know these guys? Who are they all in this picture here?
Yeah. I forget the Irish guy on the left next to me. He made a couple of really good grabs. Mike Borza, the officer, I think that's George Schwimmer. The officer, the fireman next to him is Mike Borza. He was in 332 as the captain. Timmy Kalani passed away. He owned a surf shop down in the Rockaways. And Maxie on the end. He was a good guy.
Kalani was around forever, man, that guy. I used to remember seeing him. He was a little guy with a giant helmet.
Yep.
I remember seeing him if I ever worked in 270, I would see him.
Yeah, he was a good guy. They all were.
He looked like a tough guy, too.
Yeah. I kind of came in, things were changing in the fire department. You know, when I started, there was a little bit more drinking going on, or, you know, and it just changed. And after a while, it, you know, places weren't drinking anymore. So some people took a little while to find out that you weren't anymore.
They didn't get the memo.
Mhm.
Now, you didn't have that much of that going on, Hank, through your career because you were in SOC a lot of the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you went to at least for Rescue 1 with Captain O'Flaherty, it was never even considered. I
Right.
mean, it was, you know, and that goes back to a culture that goes way, I mean, 60s and 70s when basically the guys were doing nothing but fire after fire after fire. The chiefs were happy that the fires were going out. The guys were great at what they did because it was muscle memory. And, you know, they would come back and it was like nothing to sit down and, you know, and have a cold beer after a couple of fires. And, you know, it was just, that was part of the culture back then. But I mean, that, you know, that all changed. We're talking 50, you know, or 40 years ago. That culture started changing. And it was slower to change, I guess, in some areas than others. You know,
I mean, there was nothing on the regs until like the 70s, right?
I don't know if I knew the regs, I would have been an officer. I mean, that was too much.
Well, you had an officer right here.
Too much what you can do, can't do. You know, I was
Right.
I liked fighting my fires and learning about building construction and how to fight fires in a different building. So I really don't know when it got into the regs. It probably was in the regs and not even like not even enforced, just like a lot of things back in the days, you know. But like Donnie said, you know, back in the years, like when I guess starting in the 80s, a lot of things that happened back and were accepted were now starting to change and not be accepted. You know, I mean, this is Donnie's show, but I mean, the fires started. There was still plenty of fires, but it wasn't like it was. And, you know, so there was more time for training and learning your job, and chiefs started getting a little bit more serious about what they expected from the guys, and like everything else, and I'm sure in other trades too, where it evolves to what it is now.
Oh, here we go. We got somebody right here. Ah, my man, Bobby. AUC 202 in the 70s.
Right, 202 was the one that involved the drinking on the job.
Yep.
But you used to do, like, you weren't drinking, you were having a beer. You know, it wasn't like when we were running around, when you were busy, you weren't drinking like you do in a bar.
No.
You know, and one of the things I used to like is that you talk about the fire.
Exactly.
You know, it wasn't like we sat down and, you know, I don't remember his name. He used to buy a 6-pack, one beer a guy, and you'd sit for an hour and talk about what you did, where you go, what you do, what you see. You know, did you hear what you heard? So it wasn't like, you know, I learned more in 120's basement than I did probably going to fires, just from talking to the old, because then you had the guys from the war years.
Right. And like you said, the old time officers, when you got back from a job, you cleaned, you know, you made sure all your tools were ready for the next job. You cleaned up, and then he would say, everybody back in the kitchen or wherever. You sat at the table, and it wasn't uncommon for him to, you know, give you know, a beer to everybody, and then say, okay, you know, and you were critiquing. If you were on probation, they wouldn't let you have a beer, but if you were off probation, you know, you obviously, as a probie, you were sitting in on all the critiques, but you were having your, you know, your Coke,
sody pop.
But yeah, but that was a great time to learn because everything was fresh in your mind from that fire. And you know, the senior guys could pass stuff on to the junior guys. The officer, you know, would talk to the junior guys, and like Donnie said, you probably, you know, you learned more at some of those critiques than you did, you know,
the actual job.
Yeah.
And that's why we got this show, because they're not going to as many fires as you guys were going to back then. So, I mean, few and far in between. So we got to get stories from you old codgers on here and pass along the information. Don, did you have any really good fires before we move to 120 from 126 that you remember? That's like a standout job.
Let's see. You want to jump out a window story?
Yeah, sure. Those are always good.
Yeah,
Well, I wasn't sure if you wanted to jump out the window where I got burnt up.
Yeah, I love to hear those, bro.
I'll give you a burnt. I jumped out the window story. That's my burnt up picture.
Wow, you look burnt up.
Look like a little rock.
That's through my hood. And my back then was no bunker gear, was regular coat, but I got roasted.
All right, tell us, lead up to the story. How'd it go?
So, I'll give you two quick stories. When I was in 126, we get a box for pull box. I don't know if you worked doing pull boxes, but pull boxes were always false alarm. So guys are going out, they're not really on edge, and it comes in a second source for a man on fire at the box. So what it turned out to be was he had a fire in the kitchen, caught on fire. Fire is now going through his house, and he ran down to the corner, pulled the box, and died.
Wow.
So we pulled up. I had the roof. I said, I used to be able to jump up on the front porch. I throw the ladder. I go up on the porch. I take the windows. And back then, the air was moving from the back to the front. Now the flow path moved from the back to the front. So it's different, but it's the same. But I take the window, I'm going to go in, it blows out. There's reports of people trapped, it blows out the front windows. I drop down, I want to get up to this front bedroom. I try to get in the house. The engine is at the door, and they're in about 5 feet. They're not going anywhere. Heavy body of fire. I come back out. I come around down the alleyway. I want to get up. I'm going to go in the rear because I think the air is moving towards the front, and I'm going to be able to make a move. So he ended up a staff chief, Paul Cressy. I don't know if you knew Paul Cressy. He jumps on this picket fence, and it breaks because he's a big guy, and he falls on the ground. I jump on a fence. This is my favorite part of the whole fire. I land, jump over it, and I land, and I look at Paul, and I go, "Don't you wish you were slim and agile like me?"
Fatty.
So I get to the lot. There's a ladder to the back window, and I look, and I go up, and there's guys standing there. I go up, and I do where I look, and I go, "Oh shit, I can make it." And I get up. I crawled in, and they opened the 2.5 into the front windows.
Hey.
Oops.
And the fire came back at me like a freight train. It was a heavy body of fire. So I hastily went to get back on the ladder. My foot hits the beam, and I invert or start to invert. My choice is to grab the window and get burnt, or just fall. I just said, I'm slim and agile. I think I'm going to spin and land on my feet. I have a mask on, an 87-pound helmet that they gave me, and I fall like a dart, face first, down. My foot hit the beam, I'm coming down. I hooked the ladder with my hook, one of the rungs, and I slid, and my face, into the ground.
Face plant.
I stood up. I looked around. I went to blow the blood off my face. And they had to grab me to keep from going up the ladder a second time. Because I thought I could get the lady in the back bedroom.
So they didn't get to her.
So they bring me around to the front. And,
wait, before you get there, did the fat guy say, "That's what you get, bro"? There you go.
That's
what you get for being slim and agile.
I ended up going out. They take me to the ambulance. I'm sitting there with the guy from EMS. And it was Tommy Langone, Pete Langone's brother. The ESU ended up ESU cop.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're talking. What happened? Blah blah blah. And the guy from 127 comes out to see how I'm doing, and he says to Tommy, he goes, "How's he doing?" He goes, "Well, he's all right. He must have took a good hit from whatever the ceiling hit him. The ceiling hit him. He jumped out the second floor window."
Lucky he didn't die, man.
With that Tommy Langone, I look like the mummy. He wrapped me up. I got the thing on my neck. I'm laying out.
Traction. How long were you out for?
Wasn't long. It was about 2 months.
2 months.
Maybe not even that. My brain was a little rattled. I guess that people will say that about me still.
I've heard that maybe.
Donnie, it's funny you mentioned something in your story. I'm going to be a little cynical now. You said that they opened the 2.5 in the front, and they pushed the fire right onto you. And it's funny because now with all this new fire mechanics and everything else, they're telling us you can't push fire with a hose line. I don't know. I'm still the old school. Seen it happen way too many times that, you definitely can push fire if you're hitting it with a hose line. If it's in the front of the building and you're on the outside hitting it, you can be pushing it. You may be extinguishing some of it, but you're pushing that heat and fire towards the back. And if there's somebody back there, you're going to end up burning them or killing them.
Right.
Which is my whole argument. Like when they say, hit it hard from the yard type of thing, give it the dash first and everything. I just, I'm not looking to get young guys killed, but I just, the old school way where you were getting in there, making your search, and nobody was opening a line from the outside unless they knew that there wasn't people inside. So that's I'm just getting on my soapbox a little bit right now because you mentioned them pushing fire on you where you got burnt and had to bail out.
I more than once, you go into a railroad, right? And the front door has the transom, the little window.
Right, the transom on top of the door, yeah.
Right? And they start moving in and they start hitting fire and that breaks and it vents out into me that they're pushing fire. I guess the way they think of it is they make when we open the line, to me, this is what, trying to figure what they say and what I see, is that when we open the line, the gas, the steam expands and changes, because this is why I said it earlier, and changes the flow path because of the steam is expanding and creating a high pressure area and pushing the fire that way.
Right, but you're talking about opening the line inside the building, correct?
Yeah, I would. No, yeah.
I'm talking about where people say you don't do any harm outside by if you got fire out a window, like hitting it from the outside first to darken it down, and then go in and
yeah. Ask Dennis Murphy. Ask Dennis Murphy. We had a job as an engine one time over off of Woodside Avenue. It was a whole block of commercial. We're on the last one, and it's got the giant window in the front, and it's got a doorway to go through. So we're stretching a line. We have about 2.5. I'm on the nozzle. Joe Hunter's behind me. That tells you how long ago it was. And I don't want to say the company. They opened up at 2.5 on an angle into the picture window, and it came around and hit us right in the face, knocked us back, and I turn around and Joe goes, "Nice," with that gravelly voice. He goes, "Nice, but you got no eyebrows." Yeah. All right. So I saw it firsthand, bro. On an angle, 2.5. They sent the stream into the store, and it came around the front door and hit us.
Well, I think it has to do with construction too. I think a lot of their tests, one is, underwriters ran their tests in an aircraft flat, hangar. I haven't had many fires in an aircraft hangar. And the other one is that, they're not doing a building from 1910, an old law tenement or even a new law tenements. But, that's why we have so many bullets. Every building burns different. Like, even if you're looking at, we have, I got to go a little bit more because brownstones, row frames, private dwellings. One of the things I love about where I work is I learned something different. I worked in every borough except for Staten Island, and every building is different. And there's a reason why in the Bronx, 2 guys from rescue go to the roof, because that's the construction where they need them. And, in a row frame, things happen differently. And when we're talking about fire and things lighting up, everything lights up differently. When I was in Queens, one of the things that I had a problem adjusting to was how quick a room would light up, because the area for the heat, the crawl spaces and other things were so much smaller than an old law tenement, where I had a little bit of ceiling, the air space in the attic or the cot loft. And, so it took a little longer. So that heat that I felt in the private dwelling, which was bad, isn't so bad in a tenement, and isn't
right.
And the same as like in the projects, what's burning in the projects? The heat is radiating off the bricks or the concrete, so you get a hot feeling, but that's not as dangerous as that hot feeling in a private dwelling or the hot feeling you get in a tenement. And a tenement burns different than a brownstone because of the triple brick in the walls. You catch that top floor in a brownstone, it's that real hot, you're like, fuck, get up there.
It's like,
right? But you don't have that, in a frame, it's a little different. It's the same layout, but that you don't get that same kind of heat.
Right.
So
the big difference with the private dwelling in my estimation is it's not compartmentalized. Yes, you have bedrooms, but you have an open, unenclosed stair. So if there's any fire on the first floor and you're going to that second floor and the engine is maybe putting a fire out in the kitchen and that fire can wrap around to that stairway, boom, now it's got you on the second floor, so that to me, that's a big construction. Like you said, every construction, I preach construction whenever I have a chance to these young guys, because fire is not going to react in one building the same way as in a different building, a different type of construction. You got to know the buildings in your area and the way they're built.
Yep. I used to take the guys out all the time. You got to look at everything getting put together. Nowadays, certain things are kind of half-assed that I worry about. It's everything's different now, which is hard. You can't generalize any kind of fire to a degree.
Right. Every type of construction component is definitely reacting different. An open web steel bar joist is going to react a lot different than a heavy timber is, and is going to be different from a micro lamb.
Right.
One's going to take a lot of fire burning before it collapses. One's going to take minimal. One's all it's going to take is heat. So right. Yeah, I mean it's knowing the construction is, to me, is a big part of making you a good firefighter.
Right.
A lot of guys have balls where they'll go, they'll run through the brick wall for you. They'll open that nozzle, put the water on the fire, run through the flames. But the really good fireman, yes, has the wherewithal to do that stuff, but also realizes the type of fire he's fighting and the type of building construction that he's in.
Yep.
Even that is subject to change depending on what the content is.
Without a doubt, but at least if you're increasing your chances of survival.
Absolutely, right. And there's so many variables. I mean, they could be storing whatever in the apartment, so that changes it too. But at least you have a foundation of where you could start from.
There could be an e-bike in the living room, and now that's another thing with the lithium ion. Listen, we know that. Listen, this profession that we've all chosen, and we were lucky enough to live through it, and we're still here. There's never 100% fact that how it's going to react, but there are certain things that, like I say, by knowing what a channel rail is, or a transom window, or a draft curtain, or an old law tenement, the wood floor on the first floor as opposed to a new law tenement being concrete. All of these things are going to help you be a better firefighter. Yes, if the guy's storing the hot dog carts with the propane like I had in Manhattan, and they explode and you get caught in a fireball. Well, you didn't know that, but
the one where you almost shot yourself. That
right,
one,
right. That's what makes it a hazardous job. But what makes us good firefighters is at least trying to keep the odds in our favor.
right?
And learning your tactics as well as your building construction is going to make you the go-to person in the firehouse or the go-to officer. That when somebody's just they want to know something. Oh, go talk to Captain Schneider or Gonzo or whatever. They know their shit about this.
Look at that. We just got a whole shit ton of old school tips just from Hank right there. That's why we bring Hank.
I don't mean to be stepping on your time there, Donnie.
No, not at all. Dude,
no, we're getting near bedtime,
All right, let's get to 120 then. So you put your paper in for 120. How long does it take you to get to 120 now? I mean,
120 wasn't long at all. It was the first paper I put in. Well, I had to put in a paper every year when I got to 120.
It didn't even leave your hand, right? It was a 120
fixer right there, right? You had a fixer by that time?
Well, no, I didn't. What ended up happening is a friend of mine went to the Nut House, and he said, pick two companies you think you can go to, and it was 176 and 132. And then pick two companies that you don't think you have a chance, that you think it would be pretty cool to work in. So I picked 120 and 111. And Safer, I think it was Safer, was the commissioner.
Commissioner Safer, yeah.
He said, all contracts are out. The first transfer he had as the commissioner was legit. The only one ever in the history of the New York City Fire Department that was legit. He said, no contracts.
Wow.
120, when I talked to the captain, he said, Donnie, I know you. I like you. You're not coming here.
Well.
And then Safer went,
hey, it's me, Donnie.
Hey, remember you said I wasn't coming here?
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm here.
Guess what? I'm here.
That's what I walked in the door, and he was annoyed that he had two guys who wanted to bring across the floor. They were pissed at me.
I'm sure, but you know
But
what? You're a 120. So
I never thought I'd end up in 20.
Who was the captain there at the time? Wasn't Calamari, was it? Was he in 120?
No. Oh, he was the captain of when I was in 103. The captain was Sean Reen.
Okay.
This is a guy from 120. The guy on the left was Tom Healy. He was the nicest man, probably one of the best officers I ever worked with. He was just a good man.
No, no offense, but the other guys, they have a hairpiece.
Which guy on the right?
Yeah, my right.
I don't know. Maury's wig.
I was going to say Maury's wig. Is that guy in Goodfellas?
They don't come off.
Maury's hair pieces.
Maury's wig.
They don't come off.
They don't come off in water. Anyway, sorry. Forgive me, if he's watching.
So you get there, you feel at home in Brooklyn, or?
I loved it. My first tour in 120. You're getting ready. You're getting working the night. I'm working the day tour. The guy calls me to work in the night tour. He asked me to come in early for him. I show up a little. It's like 7. I think it was 6:30. I walk in the door, and he's getting dressed. He's getting ready to go, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm driving." So I'm driving my first tour in 120. So
wow.
When
did you go to chauffeur school? In 126, you went to chauffeur school?
Yeah, I went to one.
Oh, okay.
They had a guy back out at chauffeur school like the day before you had to go. And the captain came down and goes, "Anyone want to go?" I'll go.
There you go. Now you got your first tour in 120 driving.
Yeah.
Man,
that's when I hope the captain was working. So when he came down and sat on the first run,
next year he goes,
"Hold on a minute,
what are you doing here?
Didn't I tell you would never be here?"
It wasn't. I don't remember who the boss was, but he did look at me like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, who the fuck are you?
With my 126 helmet too, which was
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, really rubbing it.
So the guys there weren't too fond of you at the beginning. You had to earn their love.
Yeah, I think that's anywhere you go.
Yeah.
You walk in as okay. Can I go out of sequence?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm a captain. I've been, let's see, I got thrown out of SOC. I went to the 7th Division. They didn't like me. I went back to SOC. They threw me out again. And I went to the 15th Division. So I was a lieutenant in Squad 1. I'm working in 113 or 249 for the tour. I come in, you sit down, I have a roll call. I talk to everybody. I used to have long roll calls. So I'm talking, and everyone listens. And the chauffeur goes, so Lou or Cap, where did you work? I said, well, I was a lieutenant in the boats. I really didn't enjoy that too much. So when I got promoted initially, I went to the photo unit. And I spent a couple of years there, but they felt that I should do some field work now. So I finished talking to the guy. And what happens to him? Like a fucking bat out of hell, he's in the kitchen going, that idiot out there is from the photo unit.
No, first he's from the boats. Now you're in the photo unit. Watch your ass.
Photo unit 1.
Yeah. He could have been in training Force 3, you know.
Yeah, well,
Maybe guns, you know.
You get a butt through an office, you always ask.
He could have been in training 4-3, you know. I don't know.
They changed it up to 243 now, but anyway.
All right, let's go back to any notable fires in 120 and all. You know, you had to thumb through the whole book there. Give me a couple.
Couple?
Oh,
Some good fires.
yeah.
I don't remember anything in particular.
What do they got over there mostly? What kind of buildings?
We did a lot of project work. We had
Projects?
a lot of frames. One of the nicer things was, you'd go as a tower ladder a lot of places. And back then, Warren Fuchs was still a dispatcher. So back to 120, like ladder 120 also. So, in fact, when I had a problem the one time with later on with going to fire boxes, I walked into the dispatcher's office and Warren Fuchs knew who I was right away before I started talking to him. He even asked how my father was. The guy never met me before. He was a dispatcher.
Hell of a guy, hell of a dispatcher. He's still around.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Mr. Saddle Up.
Make a right at the Golden Chicken, 3 blocks up, and then go 2 blocks and make a left at the right.
Yeah.
Guy was amazing. So you spend what 4 years, and you were studying while you got there. You were studying before that.
I failed the test once in 126. So when I got to 120, they were a student study house, and I studied again.
And bam, you get promoted.
That was the test. I think there were 13 changes and 4 double answers. And 10 of us wrote a 70 initially. And between the time they put the changes and the double answers together, we were about 1,000 names apart, all the guys that wrote the same mark because of the changes.
Oh, wait a minute. I skipped over this. You were a charter member in 270. How can I skip over that? So what makes you decide that you want to be in the squad? And right by 126, no less.
I thought it was great. I thought it was a great move.
Look at him smiling like the cat that got the canary there, bro. Look at him.
When I was in 126, Jack Kleehouse was a lieutenant there.
Kleehouse. Kleehouse.
Yeah, I know him.
That's
and I guess he took a liking to me. And when they started the squad, he gave me a call and he said, "Listen, Donnie, I know you were looking for something." Because I had been up to 3 and 4 to see the captains. And he told me that the squad was going to be something right up my alley. And he recommended that I go down for the tryout, which was also interesting. But he also said that, Richardson was going to be the captain at 270. As long as there was, I want to go to a place that had a good boss. So
you got a good one.
Yep. I lowered Tommy on a roof rope for a rescue.
Did you?
Yeah.
In what? In 120?
176. My first night on the roof. So I'm in detailed across the floor. I hate to be open. Can I go out of sequence?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. It's your show.
I'm detailed across the floor because I told you I put my paper in like the first week I was in 233 to leave, and I'm working in the truck. I've been catching work. I've been doing fires. Galleon broke me in. He was the first guy I ever saw dressed every time we went out on the box, and I knew that's what I wanted to be. I would get dressed every fucking time I got, and it was good because that's 103. So now I lost the trend of what I was talking about.
Roof rope.
Roof rope.
So I bossed for night talk. I come in, and this guy Kenny Graff, he goes, good old German. He goes, take the roof tonight. I tell him, I don't know what I'm doing on the roof. I'm an engine guy. He says, no, just go up and have fun. Okay. Early in the night, we catch a job in a brownstone type layout. I go to the roof, do the skylight, bloop, bloop, bloop. Great, everything. Go back to quarters. Boy, I'm like feeling like a roof man. So, a couple hours later, we catch another job. Going up the aerial, and I hear we got reports of people trapped in the top floor or in the rear. I don't think it was the top floor. I go to the back and I go, what? You're right.
Shit, people hanging out.
I talked to the guy. I told him, don't jump. We're coming. We'll get you. Tommy came up with the rope. And what ends up happening is the chauffeur from the truck comes up and he starts getting the rope operation in together with Tommy. And it's when we first got the new harnesses, the last harnesses, the first ones.
Mm-hmm.
So he has the harness and all he's going to do is clip in. The chauffeur from the truck asks me to tie off the substantial object. I do that. And I come running back and he hands me the rope and says, flake this out. So I grab the rope and I start flaking it out. With that, the rope starts running through my hands. Like, and the chauffeur goes, he's over.
What?
So I stood and I braced myself and I went, boop, 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 boop. And the guy from 112 jumped behind me and grabbed the rope and we stopped. The chauffeur yells, you got to pull him up. So the guy was, I think his name was Brady. We pull him back up to the window. The lady jumped on him and down they went. And I load him to the ground.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You was going to leave that story out, Hank. How do you leave that story out?
Yeah, I forgot it. It's okay.
This guy's got too many stories.
Yeah, well, you asked me to talk.
And I did. You are correct. So
do you want to go back to the bird story?
So 270.
So wait. Just so Donnie, you at that point though, you had the rope.
Hank, hold the fort down. I could use them.
At that point, you had the wraps of the rope on the new harness. You had
nothing. I think of yourself like
barehanded. You barehanded the whole thing?
I had my gloves on.
That was it?
Yeah.
You and one other guy.
The chauffeur stepped on the rope. He said that did it.
Wow. That's freaking amazing. It's not textbook by any stretch, but that's pretty amazing that especially when the victim gets on, because that puts a pretty good
we bounced.
Yeah, really.
For sure.
And we like shimmied across the roof.
Yeah, that was the old Manila rope back in the day too. It wasn't any of the synthetic shit that we have today.
Yeah. Luckily, it couldn't have been more than a 4-story building, right?
Right. I think it was three stories.
So it wasn't too far to get to the ground, thank God.
No.
Wow. That's all right. Well, my hat's off to you, man. And I assume you definitely you must have had some marks in your gloves, because if it was barehanded, you would have had no on your hands.
They like with silk, like they get that hard, like they were burned.
Right, sure. Wow.
What did Richardson get?
Went to Metal Day.
Beautiful.
He got the medal.
He got the medal. You got the rope burn.
Son of a bitch.
Something that I would learn as an officer is Kenny Graff was a real tough guy, real tough guy, and I thought the world of him. And he said, we're just going to let it go the way it is because we don't want to make anyone look bad. And I would use that a couple times, writing guys or not writing guys up in the future.
Mm-hmm. So you carried every little thing with you, which made you who you were.
Mm-hmm.
I never stopped being an asshole.
Back in the warehouse days, I became an asshole, and I never stopped. All right, so let's get back to 270. You go. You went to the tryouts. Was probably just window dressing, right? Richardson asked you to come over, or how did it work?
Well, I went to the tryout. I did all the things. Of course, I don't know if you went to the tryouts, but I was in 120 truck. I was chesting myself and thinking shit. And I get there, and I don't want anyone to know I'm doing the tryouts. And I get out of my car, and I'm parked next to Joey Vaccaro, who's in the engine. He's in 231. So I go, fuck. And so we walk to the sidewalk at the Rock, and here comes 120 up the driveway.
Cat's out of the bag now.
Cat's out of the bag. Hey, Donnie, what are you doing here?
Hey, what's up, buddy? What's going on?
I thought I would just do the tryout, go to work. No one would know.
Yeah, well.
Vaccaro went to 272, though, right?
What?
Vaccaro wound up going to 270.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, so you go through the tryout. Now, did Richardson already give you a call, or?
No. But I think
some guys didn't have to do the tryout.
Oh.
That guy like that.
Shit.
You're pointing the wrong way.
Fucking there, that guy in the corner up there.
And
some guys shouldn't have had to. But, really, I think that whole tryout, they had, was it a 2.5 down the hallway? I think they pumped that up to like you hit the ceiling. Yeah. And I think that was the real test to see who wanted to stay and push through.
I think the real test, too, was they were watching to see because it was hot when they were giving it, to see if you were, if you were sitting out there exhausted and you took your coat off. They wanted the guys who kept buttoned up. And I know Hatton was looking at that shit to make sure you was sock material,
Yeah.
So does Richardson give you a call? Because they did the baseball draft. So they're like.
Yeah, he called me.
And it was a no-brainer. You were going, like, it wasn't even on the fence. You were like, I'm just going.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was a great move. With Kleehouse saying it would be a good move, I'll tell you what, things he did at Fires, he was some fireman.
Well, I've been trying to get him on forever.
I thought he was the greatest thing. When I passed through 126, he was a lieutenant there, UFO. And, he wouldn't say anything unless you asked him a question, and then you had to have an hour or two to sit and listen.
Yeah.
It was just that's what I wanted.
Yep. And he watches everything. Like, you don't think he knows something? Like, I was at a job one time, and he goes, Kev, we got to get a line in here. I don't even know he knew my name. It's just like,
that was when he was a chief in a 4-6?
Yes. Yep. We had a job over in Whitestone, no less. And I was in the adjoining private dwelling. We had fire in there. Forced the door, went in there. Before I know, I didn't even know he was behind me. He tapped me on the shoulder. We need a line in here. I was like, oh, okay. He said, call for a line. So they were doing a lot of work over there, right? 270, but
oh yeah, it was great. They didn't know we were coming.
And they weren't happy that we were coming when they found out, right? I mean, that was a big adjustment over there for the trucks around there, right?
126 was, a real good truck, and we were right around the corner from them, and the original 270 guys were mostly all from trucks. We came with a load. Tommy Bone, Ray Seeley. I don't know if you remember Greg Haynes.
Yeah, a great guy, man.
He was one of the best firemen I ever worked with. Greg
wasn't he a 120 or 123?
123.
123.
He was in a battalion when I was there.
He was a great guy too.
He was real smooth. He was like Willie Mays. He's got a fire.
Willie Mays had him. We got to get him on. You got his phone number?
Well, you know what?
Yeah,
he's another guy.
He was?
Saw a ton of fire.
I don't know what he does anymore. What?
I said Haynes was another guy that saw a ton of fire from where he came from. So he was, you know, it was muscle memory for him.
But he was such a gentleman, laid back, calm, like.
Well, you know, when we started the squads, you didn't know, nobody knew how to use us.
Right.
Or the chiefs didn't know where we were coming from. So when we first started, I'm working, I think Richardson was the boss. It was me, Tedeschi, Haynes, probably Seeley, and this guy Witter. And we catch a job, and it's a, you know, big Queen Anne type house. And the chief sends 126, the third truck, up to the top floor to get a search. And he doesn't know what to do with us. And he goes, you know what, you guys, just go up and give him a hand. We go up to the top floor, and Haynes has a ladder to the 35 to the top floor. He's coming in a back window. The guys that went up the stairs from 126 didn't bring any irons. The guy has a hook and a can, and they don't have a set of irons. Tedeschi goes, excuse me. We go up, pop the door. We were the first ones in the apartment. Haynes was already in making a search. and when we came down, I guess Richardson talked to the chief, said everything's okay up here, and negative on the searches. About 2 hours later, we go to the same exact type fire. They got to get to the top floor. He turned to us and went, go get the top floor. And it changed from that, like, just, you know, going from, I got these guys, they don't know anything, to realizing that he had guys that came from some good places.
Yep. It took a while for them to figure out exactly how to use us. You know, like, you're an engine, your truck, what are we doing with you? You know?
Yeah. Well,
and it took us, you know, making our bones, right, Hank? I'm like, they didn't know who we were. We had to,
yeah, and
prove ourselves.
And the dispatchers weren't really like keen, I think, on 288 being a squad. But it took a little while. But once we made a difference at a bunch of fires, like the health club fire that they didn't even,
right.
You know, that was, I think, that was a big one.
Yeah.
The job in Manhattan, where we ended up finding the fire. Remember, with the heavy D. I don't know if you were working, but I mean, it took us a few really good jobs to show the chiefs that, hey, these guys, you know what they do, know what they're doing, and they're training, and so they thought it was going to be a company full of like guys out of Probie School.
Yep,
and
that's exactly
like
what
you
happened.
said, they had the baseball draft. They had, you know, they had recruited guys from you know, busy trucks or from SOC companies, and guys that had time on the job. You know, I went there, I had 19 years on the job. I had 11 and a half years in Rescue 1.
Right.
So, you know, you had seasoned captains, seasoned lieutenants, and in each group, the captain made sure that there was at least one senior guy that was from a busy place. So you had a seasoned officer, a seasoned firefighter, and then maybe he had some mid-level guys. But, you know, it wasn't like these guys that had come there hadn't seen any fire. Yeah, there might have been one or two younger guys, but there was plenty of experience to go around. And, I mean, you see what it's evolved into now.
Yeah. Yep.
They're, as far as what I get, you know, they're respected. The chiefs know what they can do.
I listen to the radio all the time, and they use them. They wait for them to come in. I mean, just like the rescue. You know, they know how to use them. They wait for them to come in. They know they can rely on them. They know they're motivated. So I mean, I think we had a little bit of an easier time because we had more companies like out east that were slow companies. You know, they weren't aggressive. But 270, you had a lot of good companies around you. 126, 127, 155. You know, all those companies are good companies.
Yep.
But we had companies that were slow and not aggressive. But, you know, not that they didn't want to do the job, but guys are in a certain firehouse because that's where they want to be. Right?
We, being a Brooklyn guy, we had a lot of Brooklyn guys when we went to 270. And I used to say we were a single Brooklyn truck. You know, we raced into boxes. You know, we did all the stupid things that I did when I was in Brooklyn, and so did everyone else. Because, you know, Ray was from 108. You know, Tommy Bone 108.
108.
Yeah, you can't be 108. It's 108, and you got to go 108. You can't just
108. Yeah, 108.
don't do like that.
You were there for a while. I got to ask you this one question because I talk to Heavy D about it all the time. Cat Murphy said he went there one time. I don't know if it was you. Two guys in the kitchen were about to have a fist fight over something. Was
Probably.
it you? Yeah, probably. So I don't remember the exact incident.
Did anyone step on a table and jump over it?
Could have been.
I do remember that what he did say. He said he made the two guys sit opposite each other and have the meal across from each other, and like look at each other while they were eating their meals.
And while they're on the rig, sat them across each other on the rig too.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I laughed my balls off. So did Vinny. Not that I know about it, who it was.
Well, Fat Daddy's in the chat. He probably cough it up.
Yeah.
He might have been one of them. Who knows?
No, I don't know who it was. One guy had a really big head, and one guy might be looking at right now. I don't know. Could be. I don't know.
Could be.
Good times, right?
Yeah, we got to do was wrestle around the floor. Because I'm so small, I always think I'm much bigger than I am.
You're scrappy.
I've never been in a fight in a firehouse with anyone under 6'2". Just so you know.
6'7".
What did you say? Do you do that too? 6'7"?
That's 6'7", 6'7",
Kids do that all the time. What is that?
Oh God, it's the whatever. We'll talk about it later.
Well, you're scrappy. Don't mess with short guys, Donnie. That's what I always say.
Well, do you remember Dave Dangerfield?
Yes.
He was like an Adonis. He was a monster.
Yeah, he was big too.
I got Vinny. And Vinny's trying to hit me, and I'm trying to knock him over so I can hit him. And we're wrestling, and Dave went, "Come down."
They just gave it away. We leave. There was no names being mentioned.
I'm just picking up names of an Italian guy.
Just
the pizza guy just delivered.
The pizza guy. I like what you said here. 270. They didn't know we were coming.
Yeah.
That's what you're referring to when you got over in that area, right?
It was a blur. Yeah. It was tough because it was small buildings, but the bosses were good. And
Ray says short guys never lose a fight.
Thank you, Ray.
Plus, you were in with the division, right? So you had to eat with the guys. So I guess it made your life a little easier because you were with them, right?
Yes. 270 as an engine didn't get along with the division.
I think I remember that. They didn't eat together, right?
Didn't sit together. They didn't anything together. And we had a temporary kitchen on the apparatus floor. And I guess Downey saw that disappeared. We got our kitchen done, finished. And the first thing we did was Richardson had us paint he actually had us paint the whole firehouse. But we painted the division doors red because 270, the engine, wouldn't do anything for the chiefs. So they would paint their door and not the
so stupid. I mean,
yeah. They had, because they're fighting with the division, they had a sitting room out on the apparatus floor, and it was just, it needed to be changed.
Right. Eventually, did they start eating with you guys and stuff? And
yeah, that was Richard wanted to. You got to eat with the division.
Hell yeah, they're gonna get you into jobs, man. They're gonna get you into work.
I fought with divisions. Told them what I think. It usually doesn't work out well.
I think Louis got the same type of story. Like I thought. I think he might
I was looking so forward to talking about 103 with him.
Some finger pointing. And was this what about Queen's Dispatch sending 270, 288's jobs? We don't want to talk about that. It'll make me all frustrated. Don't talk about that.
What did Louis just write that?
No, some other guy did. I lived that, bro.
You see,
I've been there with Tedeschi, yanking radios, bashing the handsets against the window. We're not gonna go back there. You had a bunch of angry guys there, man, in 270. What the hell? Tedeschi, Pickford, you, Fat Daddy. Oh, look at those guys.
T-Bone.
T-Bone. Stevie Witter. There he is. Doug
Is
Sloan.
that Doug Sloan?
Yeah. Leave me alone, Doug Sloan.
Okay.
And G, right?
Giovanni?
Giovanni. I don't know. I don't remember. I called him G. Who's the guy next to? Is that you next to Sloan?
Yeah.
Holy shit! And who's the guy on to the left?
Ken Barry.
Ken Barry. Didn't he make a grab early on?
Yeah, right down the block on the corner.
Yeah.
The firehouse.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe Louis and he'll chime in at this time. Maybe Louis will come on now. Maybe he's gutted his deer and he'll talk about.
I texted him. He hasn't answered me yet.
No?
If he found it.
Everybody give one of these to Louis. There you go, Lou. Thanks for coming on. Avant goal. I'll give it to him. Have a goal.
When they laid out the boxes originally, 270 had 42 boxes as an engine. That is a squad they didn't go to. And I remember Jimmy Earl and going, we should fight for them. And Richardson was really good. He said, what we got is what we got. We're not fighting anyone.
Wow. Yeah, but you guys had dispatchers in your pocket for some reason. I don't know how that happened. You guys were tight with them. And
You're supposed to be tight with them. When I was in Squad 1, we'd go over to, what was it, Empire Avenue?
No, it was Washington Avenue.
Okay.
Washington. It was Empire and Washington, but it was where those two streets met, and that was the Brooklyn CO.
Yeah, you'd walk in the old. Thanks, Jimmy. He wrote his name, I guess, or somebody did.
Oh, Fat Daddy Ray did. Jimmy Giovanello. Gio.
You visit the dispatchers. You say hello. I'm sure in Rescue 1, you went over there.
I would go. Yeah, the Manhattan CO was in Central Park. So yeah,
Oh.
And we had Herbie Isaac to us was like Warren Fuchs was to Brooklyn. Okay. So he was a good friend of the company, and we would always go there and take care of the guys. You knock with your elbows. You bring them some cakes and whatever. And
yeah, well, we tried to do that the one time. Heavy D went over there, and we went in there, and he saw signs all around the dispatch office that said it was a volleyball tournament. Come play volleyball with the dispatchers and the companies that we like 270s, and the ones we don't, like 288. Heavy D blew a gasket. Yeah. But that's water under the bridge. What do you do? Let's move on to Donnie getting promoted to lieutenant right out of the squad. And you get assigned to Battalion 7. And then when you went back to SOC, and SOC sent you back to Division 7 in April. What happened there, Donnie?
I got promoted. Oh, well, hold on. See, I got to look at the fucking sheet.
I'm looking at it. It says assigned Battalion 7. And that says SOC sent me back to Division 7 in April.
Okay, I fucked up.
That's all right. That happens.
I ended up in 26 engine UFO.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it was great. If I could have went to a fire,
I
would have thought it was the greatest place in the world. You ran around during the day.
Uh-huh.
Because they were in the clothing area.
Garment District, 7th Avenue over there.
Yeah. So you ran around during the day, and then once work closed, the day was over. So you had a nice quiet night. You'd have the night to yourself, and then you'd get up the next day and run your balls off. And then it had ended 7, and we didn't go to a fire. Not a freaking. I went to 2. The one I didn't. The chief asked me about what line out, because I was never a truck guy, an engine guy. I went up the stairs, and I shot to the apartment, and I did a search. The chief goes, 26 engine. What stairway you stretching off of? I'm going, I'll get back to you, Chief. The apartment's negative on the search.
So, son, you're out of here.
Come here, laddie. I need to speak.
Come here, laddie. You're going to be fucking butchered your ass. You should be on the line, for fuck's sake, not searching the apartment.
They had a battalion commander who everyone said, whatever you do, avoid him. He came over to the firehouse the first time to visit, and I was out drilling because I like to do stuff. The next time he came over, I was out drilling. This guy, he used to send paperwork back to the other offices with things circled where you misspelled words and other stuff. and I could have written a report in crayon at that point. He loved me, this guy, and sent it to him. He wouldn't send it back. It was great.
What's not to love?
I don't remember.
Man.
I also had a bunch of probies. It was right after the trade center. I got a day where I show up. I got 3 probies working. I give out the riding list. And the one guy goes, I give him the control. He goes, Lou, I'm seeing a guy working today. I got 19 days of firehouse experience between the 3 probies.
Wow, aren't you special?
Wow.
So I want to understand how you all were in the same probie class. How come you were senior? Because I was sworn in the day before him. And he thought he was the senior man. I guess that probably was how Rescue 1 worked.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
I got a week in the firehouse. I'll question the officer.
Wait a minute. I got cop time. That count.
Yeah.
But so you get back to SOC.
I'm sorry.
And how long it takes you a year to get back to SOC?
I bounced in and out. I don't remember. They gave me the rescue school when I went back to SOC. I guess I was there a couple of months, and it took me a while to get back because there was nobody in the first division. I was a lieutenant, and then they wouldn't. I was offered the lieutenant spot in 175, and the captain there didn't have enough juice to get me into 175 or out of Manhattan. So you weren't leaving Manhattan then.
Yeah, in order to take a spot, you got to be able to leave.
You learn stuff though. Like we had buildings across the street because and they tell you never to use the service elevator. But the service elevator in the older buildings, I found the reason you didn't want to stretch off them is you had that updraft, right? It would open into a fire tower, and you couldn't stretch off that. But to get to where you wanted to be, you had an elevator operator, and he could take me to 2 floors below, and then I just had to get through the standpipe where it normally would be. So I would avoid not the fire tower, but where you stretch off in Manhattan. They're in the middle of the buildings. I thought they were called fire towers.
Like the fire stair?
Yeah, the fire stair, like in the Empire State Building, that like stairway that has that updraft.
They were all right. They were fire stairs because they had self-closing doors, and the fire tower was like a separate structure enclosed off the side of the building. But I mean, most of them you had the fire stairs. And the chief or the officer would determine which of those stairs they were stretching off of, because that door had to remain open. So you didn't want to have every company that was operating had to know that was the attack stair, because they didn't want to be bringing victims down from up above. They would take them to different stairs because with those doors closed, it would keep the heat and the smoke out. So that was basically the theory behind how to fight the fire, in the high rise. You would use the fire stairs.
But it was just nice to be able to, I never worked in, a real high rise.
Right. Manhattan, and I've said this many times. I came from 280 and 132, where I saw a lot of fire. I got to Rescue 1. I had about 7.5 years on the job, and I'm thinking pretty good about myself until the first time I had to actually operate in a high rise in a fire. And then you realize how much more there is to learn, because those buildings will humble you. Just like you said, like 26, they don't see a lot of fire, but generally, if they get they get a job, it's a good job, and you better know, how to hit the standpipe, what to do if that standpipe's not working, what's plan B, and what attack stair, where are you hooking up on the floor below, 2 floors below? There's a lot involved. So like with your background, my background, if all of a sudden you're thrown into a Manhattan company or a Manhattan building, it could be a little bit daunting when you actually have a fire in it. So
So you learned something while you're in Manhattan.
Yeah, I think it too.
How do you get to Squad 1 then? You did your time in the rescue school and the spot opened in Squad 1?
2002, I walked in the door, did a vacation for either Steve Brown or Dennis Farrell. And then I did a second vacation.
Mhm.
And then Dennis Farrell tapped out and wouldn't come back. So my dates on that are probably off because
Right.
I ended up in Squad 1 on September 11th, 2002, UFO.
Oh, okay.
We're doing vacations and then it would play out UFO and then I'd get the spot a year later. See, some of the dates are the dates I'm assigned, and you know in SOC, you're there a year before you get assigned.
Right.
But I was.
How'd you like it over there? It's
I
a great
liked it.
spot, right?
Great spot.
Their run to work ratio is nice.
They don't. I always thought the squad should have just first and second 2 boxes, but I was there when we only had first 2 boxes, and you couldn't beat it.
Nah.
We'd be over by 132. We'd be pulling up with the engine. Depending on who was driving, we had those little engine rockets that we had in the squads.
Yeah.
Right? I loved it there.
That's a good place.
The difference between 252 and like Squad 1 is Squad 1 had a lot more chance to have an impact and stuff.
Well, that's what I was saying before. Over by 252, you got 111. You got all those busy trucks, man. You're not going to make as big as impact as you are in a place where the trucks aren't as aggressive.
We also followed the rescue on a lot of boxes. Like when we went out towards the rescue 2, they would, and you got to beat them. If you could beat them in, you're going to work.
In 252, you mean?
Yeah, you would run like Squad 1.
Right.
Squad
1's a little further down.
You would have boxes and you'd be working before they showed up.
Right. Yeah. But I always found they got along, even before the other squads came out. And Squad 1 and Rescue 2 always got along from what I saw at jobs. Yeah. Who was there when you were in Squad 1? Bobby West still there, or he was gone by then?
I think he was there when I first got there. But by then, everybody was on their way out. They made them, did their time at the Trade Center, and guys wanted to bail.
Yeah. That's a nice little area there, right, Hank?
It was nice because, like you said, they ran one way, they got plenty of work. If you ran the other way, parallel, what was it, Prospect Park West down that way, you didn't get as much work. But if you did get a job, you had a chance to make an impact.
Yeah.
Plus, you were in a nice area, so when you wanted to get your meal and stuff, you had some pretty nice
stores
to get your meal. You didn't have to go ghetto shopping,
I see them all the time over there, bro. I see them all the time over there getting the greatest stuff.
It was a good spot.
Yeah. And the Squad 1, you know what I mean? They should have numbered the squads 1 to 7, right? When they did them. But what are you gonna do? Squad 1's got history.
Yeah. Well, actually, the Squad 1 didn't start out as Squad 1. They were 269 engine.
Yes.
And they were closed.
And 269 got closed as a single engine there. And then
but there was Squad 1 earlier, way earlier in the 50s and 60s. There was still Squad 1. So they just brought Squad 1 back.
And then I guess, I don't know if it was like similar to the People's Firehouse, but I guess people in Prospect Park, they wanted, they didn't want to hear nothing about their not having an engine there. So I guess that's how they decided they were going to put an engine there, but make them Squad 1.
And I don't remember. That might have been like 75 to 77, somewhere around there, I believe. Even though I did the squad
Rescue 4, Squad 4 was the Brooklyn squad. And I think they were in with 283. We're on Bristol Avenue.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, man. And they did upwards of, I think one of them did upwards of 10,000 runs one year, one of the squads. And I'm going to say it might have been Squad 4.
I think 283 engine, I think, was the first company on any FDNY that broke 10,000 runs.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
10,000 runs.
103, I think it broke 10,000 with the second section.
Yeah, we just had a guy out from 103 too. Who was it, Gons?
Oh, shit. I have to go back to it. Who the hell was it? Let me see.
We've had a couple of second section guys on, which is it's fascinating to me, that second section thing.
Was it Tim Martin?
Who?
Was it Tom Putnam or no? It wasn't Tom Putnam or Tim Martin? Tom Martin rather?
Not Tom Martin. No.
Or was that Carpenter? Jim Carpenter, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
I think
Somebody in the chat will probably know. I'll get you that.
I think it was Jim Carpenter.
So you were a lieutenant in Squad 1 from 812, and you get promoted. Let's see, when did you get to 202? 2005, you get promoted to captain.
Yeah.
And you go to Division 7. Did you work there at all before you went back to rescue school again?
Yes.
Where'd you work in 7?
Around. I just covered. I would have liked the 32 truck.
I was going to ask you, any of them that you took a fancy to there?
Yeah, the 32 truck was a good place. Yeah. But their captain was at the time was a young guy. I wasn't going to end up there. And other than that, they were. I didn't fit in the Bronx.
No, you first. No, you first. No, you first.
They're as much as they think they're that way. If it's a fire, they're as cutthroat as they are in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
yeah, they're
lying. They're the gentleman borough.
No, what really sucks is the gentleman at the boxes that the walk up for an automatic alarm to the 10th floor.
Yeah.
No, that's your first two. You got it.
No. Yeah, you're on the ticket first, Stu. It's yours.
Right.
Let me know what you got up there.
Well, when I first came on the job, we were right next to the tin house. We used to race them in. We used to have fist fights in front of apartment doors with the 232, who was first due. Throwing punches. We stood in front of a taxpayer one morning. Fires, smoke's pushing out of the gates. 176 is cutting and cutting. And nozzle. One guy has a nozzle like this. Throw punches. The other guy has a nozzle under this arm. Throw punches.
Like a hockey game, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry. Talk about hockey.
It's hard to get the jersey over the head with the mask on, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Put his hood down. They didn't have hoods back then, but. All right. So you went back to rescue school again as a captain now. In 2006. Yes.
Yep.
And what happened?
My plan was to run the rescue school. Chief Haig said that they wouldn't guarantee a spot at the time, that they had enough captains, and that I thought I'd run the rescue school, get some tours, working in the field. And
shit happens.
Become an officer in SOC.
So you went to but you went to this is a little strange to me. You went to 103 first. You went to the 15th Division.
So I got thrown out of the rescue school.
I don't want to say
I did something wrong and I got thrown out at SOC.
Right. All right, well, we can leave it at that. Well, we don't have to go any further than that. Shit happens.
Yeah,
so
that was the of all the mistakes that I've made, that was the one that I would wish I didn't make.
You want a do-over on that one?
Yeah. So I ended up sent back to the 7th Division, but because now I do know somebody, and Chief Galvin was walking around the rock. I talked to the 15th Division commander. Said I want to come back. He said, I understand you're a troublemaker. He compared me to other people I knew that had bad reputations. And he said, he probably wasn't going to take me back, but, he'd see. So I talked to Chief Galvin, because he was, at the time, I think he was chief of training, maybe SOC. And I asked him if he could help me get back to the 15th Division. And he said, Donnie, I can't do anything for you.
Really?
Yeah, so that next day I called the division commander of 15th and I said, could I have a meeting with you about coming over? And he says, I don't know who you talk to, but you're already assigned.
What?
So Galvin never took credit. He always did good things for me and he never took credit. And he did good things for guys on the job and he never took credit. And he was a wonderful man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a nice surprise. So where do you go when you get ready to the 15th? You just
Bounced around, and I did a couple vacations at 103, and I went, this is my place. I love
that is your place, man. If I'm talking to you during the show, like that's the perfect place for you.
I thought it was great. I thought when I got there, you're used to being in the squads, and like people hate the squads. It's hard to say, like, they really hate the squads. I'm going to regular firehouse. I can it'd be nice to talk to people. Nobody talks to 103. Nobody.
They don't used to it.
It was great.
It was great. And they train and they turn out fast and they go to work.
Yeah. And they go over stuff. I thought it was great there.
How long was Louis out of there when you got there?
Not long, maybe a year.
Mm.
Like I said, it was a good place. They all the bullshit about how they drive, they got out the door quick.
Right.
The tones went off, they were out the door. And that's how I wanted to be.
Right. I said that's the perfect spot for you, man.
Yeah, I thought it was. I was going to retire out of 103. I thought it was a great play. I would have retired probably 5 years earlier, but I was going to stay with 103. And then I got lifted. Again.
What the hell is going on here, Donnie? I don't know.
I don't know why. I was doing what I thought I was doing.
You were rumbling, like I played earlier. You were rumbling with people.
Oh.
Kitchen table in 270.
Let's get ready to rumble.
I'm back in the firehouse. I got lifted. I was out for 3 months. I come back. We go out on a run, and the chief comes over to me, and he says, you haven't sent me whatever report in 3 months. You're supposed to send that whatever I'm supposed to send it because I was never a clerical guy. And I looked at him and I said, Chief, why don't you fucking lift me again? No, why don't you lift me again and go fuck yourself?
Oh,
that's probably worse than what
Morning.
Yeah,
that might have been worse than a finger poke, bro.
Damn.
So I walked back to the rig, and Freddie Gallagher drove me, and I thought the world of Freddie because he always put up with me. He broke my balls in subtle ways, and I sat down on the rig, and it was my first tour back after being lifted, and he said, Capt, nobody should be as mad as you are right now all the time.
Really?
The guys in the battalion killed 103. And they were always dressed. They were always ready. They always had their tools. They knew stupid things, how to carry them in their hands so they didn't hit people in the head with them.
Mm-hmm.
They were just a professional, really good truck. If my son would have made it onto the job, I would have made sure he went to 90. And then come across, my son's like this big.
Oh.
And he would have been a good truck guy. Yeah, that's him. He's a tough guy. And my dad.
He's a big dude. That's your dad?
That's my dad. Or was.
That's a great shot, man.
98. No, I guess that's 5 years ago. I guess he was 94. He was a good man. Hell of a fireman. Hell of a good guy.
94 there. He looks good.
Yep.
Looks like he still knocks some teeth out. Get an infection in his hand, maybe. I don't know. So what happened after that? After you tell the chief to go fuck himself?
I went to the rescue school. That was it. I was done.
By choice or by...
Oh, Tommy Richardson, again, we'll call him back. That night that Freddie told me to, I should do something, he called me and said, SOC needs captains. Put in a paper, try to get back to SOC. So I went to see Haid. He brought me back. He said, no guarantees.
Right.
I would retire out of the rescue school.
Again.
Yeah. And
what happens?
I left. Hoppy John Hopkins was going to get promoted. He said he'd like me to be his the next captain there.
Right.
And I said, okay. And by this time, I knew Tommy Richardson, who no longer was a fireman in Rescue 2.
Right.
Bob.
Chief of
Well,
department.
back then it was operations.
Ah, so you called Tommy.
I didn't call anyone.
Ah.
I actually,
so Hoppy said
what I
something.
think happened was while I was covering there, we ran a dinner for the Gold Star mothers on Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a dog, a bomb sniffing dog that was there that we honored. And I think it was Gisano. He was very impressed with how we ran things. And I don't remember who he was talking to. I guess it was whoever was in charge of SOC at the time. I mean, he said to him, he asked me if I was assigned. I said, no. And I said, I'd like to be. And he turned to whoever the chief was, and he said, make sure he gets the spot.
Wow.
And I didn't believe him, and I ended up getting the spot.
252. Well, it was a squared away place when you walked in, because Hopkins is a squared away guy, man.
Yeah, and it was good. It was full cycle. What's really weird is I got assigned to 233 on September 9th. I got promoted to lieutenant on September 9th. And I got assigned to 252 on September 9th.
Huh.
Wow.
So the first and last firehouse I was in was the same
On
day.
September 9th.
Yeah.
You didn't retire on September 9th, did you?
No, my birthday.
That would have been like a circle, guys. Left it like a circle. So you get the 252. Now you've already been in squad 1, so you have to adjust a little, because I mean who do you think went to more fires? I would say 252 goes to more fires.
I thought they went to more fires.
Yeah, but I don't know if they, like you said, they make it as much of an impact, because you got rescue up your ass, and you had some good trucks right close to you.
You know, you did your work, and
Right.
you made your impacts. You know, and I was real fortunate. At one point, though, everybody always thought how junior our squads were. At one point, while I was there, 252 was the second most senior truck in the 15th Division.
Wow.
And the only one that had more seniority as an average was 113.
Wow.
So that was a pretty cool. That was the guys I was bringing over.
Yeah.
Getting guys from, what was it, 40 truck places that, had decent reputations, and, and they were all over 170. I raped 103. I took almost the whole company.
Timmy and Gelke went there, right?
Timmy was there.
Yeah.
Good guy. Travis Gallagher. I took anyone I could get. 103 was a great place. The captain over there hated me, but I took everybody that was good. I heard
You poached.
Yep, I sure did. I heard, the guys I brought over, that did a real good job. The other day when 90 got buried, I heard they had a good impact at that fire, along with Rescue 2 and I think Watkins Street and everybody.
That's a great house. It really is a good house. A lot of history in that house, too.
Yeah.
That was the best kept little secret over there, even before they became a squad, man, right? I mean, Jimmy Graham was there, I think, Hank. He was assigned there.
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great little spot right there,
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they were right in the in the heart of, where the fires were happening back in the day.
Yeah, God, see if you find a picture of that really quick. That firehouse is really cool looking.
252, right?
Yeah, man. So what makes you decide to pack it in? What was the defining moment?
I spoke to the chief of department and said, send me to Probie School, find your best Probie. I'll run that course for you. And when I turn 65, you'll let me stay. And he said no.
That was it. So you superannuated out.
65, they wouldn't let me work. What's even worse is 5 after 9, they went to a fucking fire.
Wow. There it is. Yeah. It's got the BFD. That's a great old firehouse, man.
Yeah.
It's on Decatur, right? I think Decatur and
Central.
Yeah.
It's just
cool, right?
Yeah, man. The architecture's crazy.
Remember they were talking about closing 252? That was crazy.
That was in the that Brotherhood documentary. They had all what was it? Metcalf was the captain at the time, right?
Yeah, I don't remember, but we were happy about it. We were putting up a whole bunch of boxes of Bushwick, Hank.
Yeah.
You guys should have been in 274, and we should have been down by 283.
Yeah. Actually, you know what would have been a good place for us too? 316. They get some decent first to work. They're right by the Parkway. It's not a bad spot.
I think they wanted 288 because it was also just a stone throw away from Manhattan.
Right. Could be. You jump right on the expressway there.
Right. We would, you know.
There's a ton of boxes we could beat 18 into over there, man. You kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, we did, you know, even as a fledgling squad, we did get called there. Not quite a bit, but enough to you know, feel like that was part of our area.
Right. All right, listen, they're still talking about don't forget about the story about the 1,000 cats. We'll finish up the story on 1,000.
This is my closing?
No, not yet, but the 1,000,
You'll have to bring me back.
Yeah, we'll bring you back, no
We'll
doubt.
Part 2 when...
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We've had guys on for part 2.
3, 4, and 5 too.
And maybe Louis will be here so he can talk 103 with you. You know,
maybe you'd get more in depth with Louis on 103 if he's not busy running around fucking playing Elmer Fudd.
Killing fucking Bambi.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a very personal guy, and I'm short-tempered. So 103 found a thing. I call it 10,000 cats. It's a guy dressed in a leotard, and it's a poem. And it's the most stupidest thing I've ever seen. I have 1 cat, and it's too many. I have 2 cats, it's a this, a this. I have 3 cats. So I come in the kitchen, and I go, fuck, it's stupid show. I leave. So they picked up how much I hated this thing. Every fucking time we had lunch, they would put it on.
that doesn't sound like the brothers.
Nah.
And I would sit and eat. So finally, they got to 10,000 cats. They had gone out to like McDonald's for lunch and came back and put 10,000 cats on. You can't make a bad meal. Well, they really could. But they put 10,000 cats on, and they had a plate with a burger and fries on the table where I was going to eat. And it's the only time in my entire career I picked the fucking meal up and I threw it in the pail, the garbage pail, and I threw my money on the table and I fuck you, I left. And I never thought they'd get me, but they got me.
Oh, dude, they'll get you. The brothers will get you.
Killed them.
They got nothing but time, bro.
That's it. Right. It may take a little time, but they find that chink in the armor and they just keep pecking at it.
Yeah, man. They'll find it. Definitely.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, well.
All right.
All right. So now we got the 1,000 cat story. All right.
All right, Pee Wee. Now we got the 1,000 cat story. Excellent.
All right. Well, is it that time?
I think it is that time. I think we
It's
got to
almost
have on.
bedtime for me.
It's bedtime, man.
almost
I can see he's
bedtime.
over there. He's getting
Come on.
great.
He
He's
didn't
getting
sign
ready.
a contract for after 10.
No.
All right.
All right, Con. It's that time. Do
I
it.
hope I did all right.
Oh, you're
did
good,
great.
you're
We'll have
good.
you back on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for
The old
the old school tip
of
of
the day.
the day. All right, Cap, it's all yours.
All right. When we had the car fire at King's Plaza, it was pretty charged, and we had 100 cars going. And I kept sending guys in and out and staying on the line. And I knew I needed to stay longer than them because I didn't want to leave anyone as the officer alone without supervision. So I wasn't using my face piece, and what would happen is that the smoke would get real thick and then lighten up a little. So I thought I'd get by. But when it got real bad, one thing actually my father taught me this, is that if you get your nose right up to the nozzle, right to the air, the water that's coming out, you can get fresh air right there. So that every so often, when I was taking a beating, I would lean over, stick my hand against the nozzle, and just get a little bit of a breath, because the air would be a little fresher than what I was breathing. And it's what left me able to stay in there for about 40 minutes when other guys had to be relieved. But I thought that was a pretty good tip.
Excellent. I like that. That's a good one. I like that. All right.
Did you know that, Hank? Was that something that you knew?
I believe that I back in the day, yes. But like I will tell you this, that a lot of the tips that we tend to give get frowned upon in today's fire service, because there'd be no way that anybody would be allowed in any type of fire area without the mask on. So, like whether it's bumping into the radiator, knowing there's a window there, take the window, you get some fresh air, punching a hole in the sheetrock to try to get some fresh air, or doing like you said. That all mattered to us back in the day. I just don't, and my reason for even saying these old school tips are good is because, and I used to ask the probies this when I would do some guest appearances at the academy. I would ask the squad leaders in the classroom. I would say, I want you to collect the warranty, the guarantee cards from the masks and hand them up front to me. And the squad leaders, they'd like have this like deer in the headlights look, and then they'd be looking at each other, and I'd be like, all right, are those cards coming up to the front? Hey, what are we waiting for? And eventually one of them would have enough courage and say, excuse me, sir, we were never given those guarantee cards. And I would say, that's right. You never did, and you're never going to get one, because nobody can guarantee that mask is going to operate 100% of the time. Right. So there's going to be a time when if it does fail, you're going to be ripping that face piece off and having to get yourself out of that building under control, not panicking, feeling that smoke, feeling in what it's like to have your eyes burning and your throat closing up. So, those tips are all good. But like I say, nowadays, like if you're in today's fire service, guys, these are the old dinosaurs talking.
Well, maybe the mask will run out or malfunction, and they can use one of these tips.
Right.
How about searching window to window? When you didn't have your mask. And that's an important thing. It isn't that you're searching getting air when you look out a window. There's 100 things. Like I always talk more. I used to have the private dwellings, the Queen Anne's, where you get turned around. You look out the window. There's 100 things to see. You can see if there's water on the fire, if they're making progress, if there's ladders around, if there's fire around you, smoke conditions above you. If you need to get out, is there another window? Is there another? So we used to search from window to window, and I was there when I'm not sounding like I never used my mask.
We all did, but yeah,
But you went from window to window, and you'd look out, and there was a world of information outside. Companies having problems, waters, ladders, who was in, who wasn't. So looking out a window, just a quick, and you'd start your search, and it gives you, there's another room. I thought I was in the back. It looks like there's another room. So it gave you a lot of little information. Are
there bars on the window that maybe you thought that was going to be your escape route, and now
exactly.
You got to the rear, and lo and behold, nobody got on the radio and said they would, which they should have. But now you find out, hey, you know what? This is not my second means of egress.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, gods, look, we got a tip within a tip tonight.
Yeah, within a tip.
Oh.
This is the photo from that job that he referenced, right? This is your King's Palace. Okay.
It was.
I know some of those guys. Well, one of them anyway.
The chief of operations, when they released me from the hospital, took my helmet and gave it to the SOC chief and told him, take it back to quarters, and then threatened my chauffeur that if he stopped on the way home at a fire, he would be fired.
Wow.
And if I would have seen a fire on the way home,
you would have stopped and you would have been fired.
and pulled my hood up.
Well, you only had a couple of years left after that, right? A year or two? What do you have? So
Yeah.
would have been worth it. But anyway, Gods, who is this, the old school tip of the day brought to you by?
Oh, well, let me go ahead and cue that up. Donnie, hang in there. We got just a couple more short commercials to go through.
Okay.
I know he's getting narcolepsy right there. He's going to be like, all right, hold on a second. Here we go. It is brought to you by Collectors Clubs. Here we go.
We at the Gettin Salty Experience are excited to announce the launch of the New York City Collectors Club, a brand new spin-off of the FD Collectors Club dedicated exclusively to New York City firehouses. Here's the deal. No more worrying about stopping by a firehouse when the crew's out on a run, and no more rolling the dice on questionable patches and coins off eBay. With this club, everything you receive is 100% authentic, straight from New York City firehouses. And the best part? A portion of every subscription goes directly to firefighter charities each month. Now, because you're part of the Gettin' Salty podcast community, you'll get 50% off your first month. That means you can join for just $14.99. All you have to do is use the code Gettin' Salty at checkout. So if you're a collector looking for something real, meaningful, and straight from the source while giving back to New York City's best and bravest, the New York City Collectors Club is for you.
Yes, and I just got a box today, guys. So next week I'll be actually opening one of these live on the show here, so you can see what's in it. It's a great little thing he's got there, man, and you get a little discount from the Salty guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right.
Last one.
Here we go.
The First Responders Center for Excellence is a not-for-profit organization dedicated to protecting the lives and livelihoods of first responders. Their education and research initiatives aim to bring greater awareness and understanding to the challenges to the health, safety, and well-being of firefighters, EMS personnel, and other first responders, too. They are an affiliate of the National Fallen Firefighter Foundation.
There we go. The old school health and safety tip tonight is we always talk about going for our checkups, right? But listen, one that guys always forget, I know Hank did because we just talked about this, your skin. You got to get your skin checked out and find detection early, because Coobs just went today. I had to go back again because I do have cancer on my back. So they took it off and I have to get chemo for my back. But I wouldn't have found it if I didn't go for a test. You have to go and get tested at least once a year. Every 6 months would be preferable, but skin cancer is no joke.
Mm-hmm. I go every 6 months, man. You got to do
Yeah,
that.
do it.
I don't know what can kill you.
Yep. Yes, it can. And that's it.
All
Cap,
right.
thank you for coming on and sharing your stories. Had a great time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
I hope
talking
it
to you.
wasn't boring.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That
And
was
Hank, thank you for stepping up last minute.
Yes, sir. Thank
As
you.
always, just
Good.
knowledge and the wealth of knowledge this man's, Hank, and the cunning, right? I mean,
Pours out of them.
Just glad to reconnect with the
Yes.
Leatherhead Nation people.
Hank is in my book that I'm writing. It'll be out soon. It's called To the Warriors and Back. And there is a character from Hank in there, hopefully coming out soon. It's a labor of love. All right, who do we have next week, Gons?
Shit. Isn't it Jack? Isn't it Jack? Give me a second.
Jack who? Mihoff?
Yes, that's what.
It's not.
Oh shit! Do we have somebody? That is the question. Actually,
No. You'll see it in.
No, we are open. We'll have to let you know because it's open
shit,
right
we are?
now. Yeah, it's an open spot.
Oh, go to the bullpen again. Here comes
The
Hank.
bullpen. They got. Are we saving the following guy as a surprise for the week following? Or you want to give a little snippet of it tonight?
Is that the guy from the
17. You standing around here with your thumb up your ass.
Yes, we got a Hollywood actor coming on who's a real life fireman. We'll give you the details coming up. He was in Backdraft. He was on Rescue Me. Coming up. All right, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you, boys. Love you guys. Great show.
Good night, all. Stay safe.
Until we see you again, stay low and go.
Yeah.
All right. Take care,
guys.
Donnie.
Have a good night. And being that Lou's not here, we'll say see you at the big one. And remember, I don't always watch podcasts, but when I do, I prefer the Gettin' Salty experience.
Oh, I love it.
Stay salty, everyone. Have a good night.